What if the most powerful changes in your life did not begin with what you do, but with what you say to yourself? Imagine waking up tomorrow, not rushed, not distracted, but guided by a voice within that is focused, unshakable, and unstoppable. What if 5 simple sentences could rewire your brain, reshape your mindset, and realign your life? Science now confirms it. The way you speak to yourself in the first moments of the day determines the neurological foundation for the next 24 hours. These early thoughts shape your stress levels, your clarity, your mood, and even your ability to stay disciplined. Dr. Andrew Huberman, one of the world's leading neuroscientists, has uncovered the secret. The morning is not just a time, it is an opportunity to transform the entire day. Your brain is highly plastic when you wake. That means it is open to suggestion. It is listening. And if you are not speaking intentionally to yourself, something else, fear, comparison, distraction, will speak for you. But when you speak with purpose, with clarity, and with emotional intensity, you take control of the narrative. In the next few minutes, you will discover 5 powerful statements. These are not motivational slogans. They are affirmations rooted in neuroscience, crafted to align your mind with your highest potential. Each one targets a specific area of your brain, your decision-making, your emotional regulation, your motivation, your confidence, and your sense of purpose. So, stay with me until the end, because the voice you choose to listen to today will become the life you live tomorrow. The brain is not just a machine. It is a living system constantly shaped by thoughts, actions, and especially language. Neuroscience has shown that words are not neutral. They create chemical reactions, they fire neurons, they reinforce pathways. The words you speak, especially to yourself, either build you or break you. Andrew Huberman teaches that the brain thrives on consistency and clarity. Each morning you are given a moment of power before the world intrudes, before opinions pour in, before your responsibilities take over. It is in those first moments that your brain is listening most closely. What you say then determines what your brain will focus on. This is not about being blindly positive. It is about being neurologically strategic. The statements you will hear today are based on how the prefrontal cortex, amygdala, and dopamine systems respond to internal dialogue. They are designed to help you regulate emotion, clarify intention, and lock into action. Every morning, your brain asks a question: who are we going to be today? And most people answer that question with their phone, their inbox, or their past. But not you. Not anymore. Today, you will answer that question with authority. So take this seriously. These 5 affirmations are not optional. They are essential. Repeat them aloud. Repeat them often. Let them become the foundation on which you build your mindset. Because your inner dialogue is not background noise. It is the programming language of your brain. Growth does not happen by chance, it happens by choice. Every day, you are either evolving or repeating. This statement activates your brain's growth mindset circuitry, the belief that abilities can be developed through effort and learning. Neuroscience research shows that focusing on growth increases motivation, improves resilience, and enhances neural plasticity. By saying, "I focus on my growth," you shift your attention from results to process. This lowers performance anxiety and increases curiosity. It tells your brain to prioritize learning over perfection. The hippocampus and prefrontal cortex become more active, allowing you to absorb feedback without fear. This statement also calms the amygdala, the region responsible for fear and threat detection. When you view challenges as opportunities to grow, your stress response changes. You become more adaptable, more strategic, more engaged. Make this your first sentence every morning. Whisper it, shout it, write it down, let it remind you that progress is the goal, not perfection. Because growth is not just physical or mental, it is spiritual, it is foundational, and it begins with a decision. Say it, mean it. Live it today. I focus on my growth. Your emotions are not enemies, they are signals, but without control, they become storms. Neuroscience teaches that emotional regulation is not a talent, it is a skill rooted in the connection between your prefrontal cortex and your limbic system. When you tell yourself, "I have full control over my emotions," you activate that very connection. You tell your brain to move from reaction to response. Studies show that self-directed speech increases activity in areas of the brain associated with impulse control and decision-making. This affirmation lowers cortisol levels, the stress hormone that floods your system when you feel out of control. It helps stabilize your heart rate, calm your breathing, and restore clarity. Because when your emotions are regulated, your choices are clearer, your energy is protected. Your relationships are stronger. Do not let circumstances dictate your internal state. Take ownership, even when things are difficult, especially when they are difficult. That is where emotional mastery is born. Say it each morning with intention: "I have full control over my emotions." Watch how your day bends around your emotional strength. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. But most people allow their attention to be stolen by urgency, by distraction, by other people's priorities. This affirmation brings your mind back to center. My goals direct my energy. Say it slowly. Let it sink in. This activates the brain's dopamine system. Dopamine is not just about pleasure. It is about pursuit. When your brain has a clear goal, dopamine levels rise, increasing motivation, attention, and action. Neuroscience confirms that clarity reduces cognitive load. When you know what matters, your brain stops wasting energy on what does not. The prefrontal cortex becomes more focused. The limbic system becomes more stable, and your behavior becomes more aligned. This affirmation also creates a sense of agency. It reminds you that you are not here to react. You are here to create. Your goals are not background noise. They are the compass. And each morning you must realign with that compass. Say it every day, my goals direct my energy. Because if you do not aim your energy, the world will aim it for you. The brain craves approval. Social belonging is hardwired into our neural circuits. But when validation becomes a need, it weakens your sense of self. This affirmation is about reclaiming that power. When you say, I do not need external validation, you activate your brain's internal reward system. You train your mind to seek satisfaction from alignment with values, not applause. This reduces dependency on the unpredictable opinions of others. Huberman teaches that inner peace comes when your identity is based on principles, not popularity. This affirmation strengthens your sense of autonomy. It frees you from performance pressure. It gives your nervous system space to breathe. You are not defined by likes, by followers, or by reactions. You are defined by your choices. Your discipline, your integrity. Let this be the voice that drowns out insecurity. Repeat it bold-eyed, I do not need external validation. Let your approval of yourself be the loudest voice in the room. This is the most powerful affirmation. It is the foundation. It tells your brain nothing changes until I take responsibility. Neuroscience shows that the belief in personal agency increases prefrontal cortex activity, enhancing planning, execution, and resilience. When you say, I am responsible for my actions, I own my life, I own my destiny, you eliminate excuses, you quiet the victim mindset, you create a mental environment where solutions can grow. Responsibility creates empowerment, and empowerment leads to action. This affirmation reminds your brain that you are not helpless, you are not stuck, you are the one steering the wheel, no one else. This changes the structure of your inner dialogue. Instead of, why is this happening to me? You begin to ask, what am I going to do about it? That shift from passive to proactive is the beginning of transformation. Say it with conviction. Say it with certainty. Say it every morning. I am responsible for my actions. I own my life. I own my destiny. Let this sink in. Your brain is always listening. And what it hears most often, it begins to believe. These 5 affirmations are more than words. They are weapons, tools, anchors. They center your identity and command your direction. In a world that tries to distract you, diminish you, and define you, your voice becomes your shield. Use it. Because when you speak with clarity, your brain builds the circuits to support that clarity. When you speak with power, your mind responds with discipline. And when you speak with intention, your life moves in that direction. This is not easy. You will have days when the words feel empty. You will have mornings when doubt feels stronger than belief. But that is when you say them louder. That is when you remind your brain who you really are. You are not your past. You are not your mistakes. You are not your circumstances. You are what you repeatedly choose to believe, and these 5 beliefs are the beginning of your transformation. So rise with purpose, speak with power, and remember, the mind you build each morning becomes the life you live each day. Now it is your turn. Take these 5 affirmations and make them your own. Say them out loud, write them down, repeat them daily. Do not let another morning pass in silence. Speak your identity into existence. If this message spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because transformation begins with intention, but it multiplies with community. Subscribe for more neuroscience-based strategies to build a powerful, focused, and fulfilled life. Leave a comment below which affirmation hit you the hardest today. This is your day. Your mind is listening. Your destiny is waiting. Speak it, own it, live it.